Hey, this is Alex Merced from alexmercedcoder.com, and what I want to talk about today is the process variable, and just what it is. So conceptually, what happens is that whenever you run a Node script, Node runs everything in a single process, meaning it's one list of directions running in order. Okay. Um, Now that process can create another process because what happens is that maybe this code hits a point where it's doing something that's taking a really long time, um, or you want to do something that's going to take a really long time and you don't want it halting your current process, and that's why there's the child process library. So if you watch my command line video series where I did use like spawn and exec, that's essentially what those functions are doing. They are executing a new command in a separate process. So that way that thing is kind of doing its thing and your main process, your script, can continue doing its thing. But what I didn't talk about is like taking input and whatnot. So I just wanted to explore this process variable a little more. So I'm making a new file here in this folder here called input. So I'm going to open that up in the terminal. Give that a second to open up. And first thing we're going to do is just explore this process object. And it'll take some time. Close some of these other things. Doop. Let me close this thing. There we go. Cool. Now we are in this folder. We're going to create a new file. We'll just call this testing.js. And what I want to do is just console.log process. Okay, because you've probably seen this in a lot of different contexts. Process.env, process.argv. There's all sorts of different processes. So if I do this, I go node, and we say testing.js. And we're going to get a huge amount of stuff in our terminal in a moment. Okay, so let's explore. Okay, so let's see here. We got main module that has all this data here of basically all the information about the file you're running. Here are any arguments. Here's our argument array. Okay, so it always by default it includes those two. That's why generally any arguments you pass in generally come in third. Okay, we'll test that out in a second. Let's see here. Exec path, that's the path that you're executing from. Your process ID, if you want it to kill itself, your path. So you have all these different variables. Go path. That's interesting that that's there. Go path. My path for running Go. Okay. Let's see here. Virtual NV wrapper. That's for Python. Interesting, it has all these other extra things. I never really kind of looked through here. This is your standard in, standard out. This is to get input going into your process, and this is going to take process a stream of information coming out of your process. This is your current working directory, so this is a function to get your current working directory. So you get all these little functions here. I'm trying to see if there's anything else. There you can go get some of these details. If you want to kill the process, take a look at the memory usage. That's all pretty cool. Okay, here's some configuration stuff. Probably wouldn't play with that. Module load lists. I'm sure that's probably useful at some point in life. And yeah, that's your process. Everything you'd want to know about your process. Which version of Node I'm running. Okay, the versions of different things. So version of V8, all the current things that are currently involved in my process. Cool. Okay. So there's ways to pass information to this process. So first we'll show you how to pass a variable. So node. Okay, we'll just say var equals cheese. Okay, and testing.js. This should show up as part of my env object. So I want to just make sure that that's the case. So we'll say process.env .var. So if that worked, this should come out with cheese. Okay, and then if I enter another, so we'll just say hello. Okay, this should come up as an argument in argv. So let's try that out. Process.log process.argv, and then technically it should be the third item in the array, because the first two are always your path to your node and your path to your script. So that'd be item number 2, or index 2. Okay, so if this works, again, this var should be cheese, which is this right here, and then arg should be hello, should be the first argument we passed in. Control Z. So let me save that. Let's run this file. Okay, and we got an error. So something I did funky. Maybe try to do too many things at the same time. Let's see here. Cannot find module node input. Why does it think I'm trying to run a module? Okay. Interesting. Process.env. Let's just print out the node env object, and let's just print out the argv array. See if they at least have the data inside of them. I'm still getting that. So what I will do is I'll do this. I think it's the, actually, now that I think about it, I know what's going on. I need to switch up where I have node. The variables have to be before the node. So it should be node testing.js hello. There we go. Yep, and there we go. So cheese and hello. And just to kind of illustrate this. Okay, why? I didn't print out the process object that time. Oh, it's because the env object has a whole bunch of other stuff in it. So that's where all these environmental variables are. Got it. Yep. .env.var. And then here's the argument array, which is pretty straightforward. So I'll just do that and save. So those are two ways to pass data into your script just from the command. Okay, so when you create your scripts in your package.json, you can pass that stuff in there. But when you want to take like input, like be able to ask the user for stuff and use it in your code outside of just running the command, you can do that. Okay. There is a node standard library. Let's bring that in there. So I think it's like const. I'm just gonna do RL for readline equals require readline. Okay, and then I think we have to then invoke this function. And what we got to do is actually there's a function called create interface that will get off that readline library, and then in here we have to pass in our standard in, okay, which would just be process.standard in and our standard out, which just be our process.standard out. Actually, those keys are input and output. So the input is this, and the output is this. And we're just basically plugging right into the already existing streams of our process. The stuff that's streaming in and the stuff that's streaming out. Cool. So now what I can do is I can do this. I can be like, my const my input equals RL. Actually, the way this works is more like this. RL dot question. Okay, and then basically we put the question that we want to ask the user. What is your name? And then we pass in a callback. So it'll just be like name console.log. Oh, I'll do backticks. Oh, your name is name. Okay. What was that? Parameter name implicitly has any type, that's fine. Okay, and that's it. So watch, now if I run this, so I just want to do test node testing.js. What is your name? I should have used question marks. My name is Alex Merced. Oh, your name is Alex Merced. Okay, and then you can start doing more complicated stuff like that. Okay, which is fine. That's fine. But you know, getting this set up and all this is a little odd out of the text. So there is a library you can download that makes this even easier. So if you want to, and notice, see, my program is still running. It didn't automatically end, which I can with the Control C, but something to keep in mind. Okay. Well, no, I remember what I was trying to get. I'm gonna go get the library name. So this is the library prompt sync. This is a library you can use to take input. So let's install that. npm I prompt sync. And essentially, just what it does, it just speeds that process up. So npm I prompt sync. There it goes. It's installed. Okay, and now what I can do is I can change this. I can just change this to prompt sync. So let's just get rid of all this for a second. Prompt sync. And then we invoke the function and we have to pass it an object. And really it's just this sig int needs to be set to true. Okay, which stands for signal interrupt. Prompt sync, let's just make sure that's the name. Prompt sync, yep, that's good. And I'm just gonna call this prompt. It's just a little bit easier. It'll feel more like using prompt on the front end. So now you could do it this way. So I can be like const input equals prompt. What is your name? And then I can be like console.log. Your name is input. Cool. Same program, but see, it's just a little bit less lines, a little bit cleaner. So let's give that a shot. Oh wait, no, I don't want to do that. There we go. There you go. What is your name? Alex Merced. Your name is Alex Merced. Yay! It works. Cool. You know, and then you combine this with sort of like, you know, spawn and exec, so you can sit there and be like, okay, what, and you can run commands and do all sorts of really fun stuff. So, I mean, this just gives you a little bit more power, a little bit more flavor over what you can do in Node and what Node is doing under the hood and why, like, the child process library is important. Process doesn't have its own library because process is your current script. Yeah, so I'll leave it at that. You guys have a great day and enjoy.